baby steps. If you want to pay off the debt, you're going to have to unblock them people. Welcome back. I'm allegedly Stephanie, your favorite recovering lawyer, and every month, once a month, we discuss my very long journey to pay off my 6-figure student loans. And you know what, for what it's worth, because next month will be 5 years that I've been paying off my student loans, as I see how much money I've paid, even though the journey has been arduous, it has been long, it has been tiring, I am so close, in my opinion, to being done. So this month, we will be talking about what the heck is going on with the SAVE plan, as well as what is going to happen to our student loans under Donald. Yes, this is being filmed on January 20th. Ugh, deep sigh, deep sigh. So before we get into the dismal, let's start with the positive. If you're new here, everything for the student loan series is always retroactive in terms of the payment I made. So we'll be discussing what I paid in December. And in December, I paid a good chunk of change. My starting balance when I started my student loan payoff journey back on February 14th, 2020 was $304,680.17 trifling cents. Yes. Whew. Deep sigh to every single trifling penny of that debt. The majority of it being from law school, and approximately, I've redone the math. Originally, the math informed me that $75,000 of that was interest. Actually, because more of it had accrued, around $90,000 of that. Ooh. Around $90,000 of that is interest, aka money I did not borrow. All right, in December, I paid $4,000 towards my student loans. I only have 2 left. I'm very excited. The end is near, which brings my remainder at the beginning of the year on January 1st to $127,548.97 trifling cents left. Which brings my estimated total paid on January 1st to $186,519.63 hard-earned pennies. All of my money, every single last cent. And it's estimated total paid because it does not account for the 4 years prior to 2020 where I was making the minimum payment occasionally. Because I have always admitted that in the first year after law school, I did duck and dodge Sally Mae. I did. I had to, make sure I had groceries. However, because this month I have made a 5-figure payment in the month of January, which you have to tune in and you'll find out in February how much money I exactly paid. The fact that we are approaching and may have passed the $200,000 payment threshold, I don't know what to do with that. I don't know what to do with that because I still have 6 figures left. But I do find a little bit of comfort in that I'm slowly approaching the $99,999.97 trifling cents owed. I think I'll feel a sense of happiness and relief when I cross that threshold. Hopefully, for myself. I think I've earned it, after all these years. So while I have you and why you're likely here is because you want updates on the SAVE plan. So the SAVE plan was proposed and instituted by the outgoing Biden administration, and with all of the kerfuffle and the commotion and all the things that the administration did do wrong, the SAVE plan, I would say, was somewhat of an improvement on the current income-driven repayment plans. However, Republicans did not like the SAVE plan. They have been suing to get the SAVE plan removed for months, and we now have an update, not necessarily on the legal front, because our court system, as you know, is extremely slow, but a guesstimation by the Department of Education. So on January 16th, I received the following email, and most likely if you are on the SAVE plan, you also received the email, or you should have received the email. You might have them blocked. Now is a good time to unblock them. I'm just saying, baby steps. If you want to pay off the debt, you're going to have to unblock them people. We have here Stephanie, addressed to me. Earlier this year, federal court prevented the U.S. Department of Education from implementing the Saving on a Valuable Education SAVE plan and other income-driven repayment plans. The Department of Education is currently prohibited from using the SAVE formula to calculate monthly payments and from forgiving loans after years of payments under the SAVE pay-as-you-earn and income contingent repayment plans. However, the part that matters right now, because if you are on the SAVE plan, you are currently in administrative forbearance, which under this general forbearance, one, according to this, and as I've been saying for the past however long we've been on this plan and it has been looming in court, one, you do not have to make your monthly payment on your student loans. If you are on the SAVE plan, you are in forbearance. However, if you want to get out of debt, you do have to make the payment. It's not going to go anywhere. Interest is not accruing on the SAVE plan. Honestly, the interest not accruing for the past, since I have been paying off my student loans the past 5 years, that has saved me from an additional about $40,000 of interest. Next video, remind me and I'll do the math for that and I'll show y'all how much interest I would have had to pay additionally on top of the approximately $90,000 of interest I've already, been assessed for. Yeah. So with my specific student loans, and likely other people are in this boat, when the panorama happened, we then all got placed on forbearance. We had a payment pause. With that payment pause came interest-free payments. That lasted for most people for about 4 years. That ended last year around the summer. However, if you were put into the SAVE plan, because the SAVE plan was threatened with legal action in court, everybody on the SAVE plan has stayed on interest-free forbearance. So shout out to that. I will give 2 small claps for the outgoing administration for. So according to the email, you will be in this forbearance until servicers are able to accurately calculate monthly payments, which federal student aid expects servicers to be able to do no earlier than September 2025. There were other ways to write that in a way that was a bit clearer. But basically, according to this, we will not get kicked out of forbearance until around September 2025. And you know what? I'll take it. I will take it. This is a guesstimation on their end, though. We do not know what the current administration is going to do, so this might happen sooner than that. But the outgoing administration is guesstimating September of this year, we are all getting pushed back into repayment as well as interest. Borrowers will be informed of any further changes to this litigation-related forbearance. So they'll send us an email, as they've been doing. Interestingly enough, when I logged in, my federal student loan service provider is Aidvantage. When I logged into Aidvantage is basically forecasting that forbearance ends for me in November. That date, though, has changed numerous times. In December, I remember telling y'all that Aidvantage basically kept sending me a countdown email and popped up whenever I made a payment, counting down the days that they wanted me to recertify. And that if I didn't recertify, they would then put me on standard payment, just for me to recertify and then to send me an email and say, actually, we've extended your recertification all the way until 2025. Yeah. All these income-driven repayment plans are based on recertification. You have to recertify your income so that way they can assess how much you are supposed to pay. So I think that is good news, at least. Hopefully our court system in this instance, because they are essentially, and unfortunately, most likely these are Republican and right-wing leaning federal courts, they are going to strike down the SAFE program. So hopefully it would be in our best interest that the court system be as slow as molasses. So there's no need for us to want it to happen sooner than later. The longer it takes, the longer we're in forbearance. So I would say if you are still coming to terms with your student loans and you have not made a repayment plan yet, I wouldn't wait till September, maybe March. Start writing it into your budget like, okay, this is going to be your minimum payment. You do the math, figure out what your minimum payment's going to be so that way you can kind of get comfortable with it and then start paying that minimum payment, even though it's not due. Because that is also, the only way to tackle the issue, unfortunately. Now, the larger question with this is, what is going to happen to student loan repayment and forgiveness under Donald? Student loan forgiveness is not happening for anybody under Donald, obviously. He doesn't believe in it. He's campaigned against it. He's not going to do it. I think the big question for people is going to be what happens to public service loan forgiveness, PSLF, which that program existed before the Biden administration. However, that program had a lot of bureaucratic mess in that it was never enacted properly, which is why I believe less than 3% of people that went through PSLF actually had their loans forgiven before the Biden administration fixed the program. So that is, again, they deserve some small claps for that one too. And that's it. And that is why the program now runs. Unfortunately, I think within Donald's term, they're going to get rid of PSLF. And I feel so heartbroken, particularly for a few of my good friends that had that same level of law school debt with me and have been public service lawyers all this time that are 1 and 2 years away from getting their loans forgiven. I really hope that it lasts long enough for them to get their loans forgiven, as well as for everybody else. You know, maybe a miracle will happen, but the way this administration is coming in, and they only care about people who make more than $400,000 a year and are a certain complexion. Yeah, I wouldn't count on PSLF anymore, which is very sad and very dismal. And honestly, I think it would, maybe on a brighter note, if there are any murmurings of them getting rid of PSLF, I do believe that that would open the grounds to a class action lawsuit, because a lot of people entered into public service, which you are a government employee, specifically because the program does give you student loan forgiveness after 10 years. So I'm sure the specific T's and C's of PSLF probably say you waive the right to sue and that they can change the program whenever they want. That doesn't mean that you can't hire a good lawyer and try. So I do think if they get rid of PSLF, I do think we will see the beginning of a class action lawsuit. I also personally would love to see a class action lawsuit based on what are predatory interest rates that have been set by Congress. The fact that I'm redoing the math, and by the time I'm done paying this off, in total, we'll see when I'm finished, and I'll calculate it, $90,000 to $100,000 of just interest. That's objectively wild. That means technically I would be done right now. Yeah. What? But deep sigh. I'm excited that most likely based on my incoming payments, because when you are a full-time content creator, you know, the money is up and down. I'm essentially a freelancer. Hopefully, as long as my payments come in on time and I've estimated them properly, I should be under the 6-figure mark by my birthday in March. Which, you know, that does bring me some joy, because, hitting the 5-year mark of having this series is almost 5 years old. This is the first series that ever existed on my channel. My channel will be 5 years old in August. It was a little disheartening to think, like, dang, I'm still not done. And also being extremely honest with myself and realizing if I had stayed in corporate, I'd be done right now. However, I wouldn't have been able to do all of the wonderful things that this career switch has allowed me to do, such as have my very own travel and law show, Complexion of Law, which I received funding for a second episode. I'm super excited. We got 5 times the amount of money in this grant than we did the first time. So I'm really excited to bring and shed a light on the history and the law, and specifically how the law affects Black people in this country. And hopefully the show will continue to grow, and we'll be able to show how laws have been implemented and affect the broader diaspora. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I still was at corporate. So I'm really excited about that. And I've gotten a lot of really great opportunities having had this career. And, you know, I try to keep it a buck at all times. This career is very anxiety inducing. And I will be happy when I pay off my student loans, which are my giant burden in this life. I will have paid off my student loans at that point, being privileged and blessed enough to somehow be able to do what I want to do and simultaneously be financially stable. So that'll be good, because I know on this channel we've talked about it so many times. I've contemplated going back to corporate. I tried consulting for a month with a law firm. Oh my gosh. I hated it. I should have known that. I forgot. I forgot that while I'm good at lawyering, I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not for me. For context, for anybody that's new, I am a transactional lawyer by trade. I worked in tech for the better part of 7 years, brief stint in entertainment. Yeah, I've seen all the corporate things. And her and I just don't get along. If pushed to do it, I can do it, but I'd rather not. I'd rather not. So we'll see. We'll see as I go on continue this journey of paying off my 6-figure student loans and being as transparent as possible. And this series will continue on into 2025. And hopefully, if my planning and all of my hard work pays off, hopefully this series will be ending in 2025 as well. So we shall see. I always like to end the videos with a huge congratulations to anybody who has paid off their student loans since we've had the last video. So congrats to you, or has gotten student loan service forgiveness. Congrats to you as well. Let me know how it feels. I'm sure you're super excited, particularly as we head into this very uncertain and precarious climate and environment. So hopefully that's not too loud. Big claps to you. I'm super excited for y'all, and I can't wait to join the student loan debt-free crew. The debt-free crew in general, for what it's worth, because I've set up my mind that at this point, I think I'm a little scarred for my student loans. I probably am not the type of person that's ever going to have a mortgage. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can sign my name on the dotted line to owe hundreds of thousands of dollars again. Yeah. At least that's how I feel now. We'll see. But yeah, let me know how your student loan journey is going and what you think this year is going to bring regarding our student loans. All right, I'll catch y'all later.